Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is keeping well. Welcome back again to another live show on the channel. It is the preview for the game on Saturday. Away down to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Mason, how are you feeling for this game?
Hopefully it's better than the game I watched on Saturday. I try not to swear there, but yeah, it was. Hopefully it's better than Monday night.
Well, let's see what happens. And we've also delighted to be joined by Nate tonight, Crystal Palace fan. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm not looking forward to the weekend. I never look forward to the weekend this season. It's just one of those things. Just get over and done with and keep the weekend moving. But we shall see how we fare on Saturday against the Mags.
That's it. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. If you enjoyed tonight's show, please do remember to give us the thumbs up. It's really important we get the likes so people know where to find us in the YouTube search results. So please do hit the likes if you do enjoy tonight's show. And of course, if you are brand new to the channel, or if you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy what goes on the channel week in, week out, please hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so. It does help me the channel grow as well. We're getting close to 2,300 now. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already done so yet. So we're very, very close to getting there. Your support is appreciated as always. And of course, do hit the bell notification. It does let you know whenever a live show is taking place or when a pre-recorded video has been uploaded as well. So make sure you do hit that bell notification to make sure you do not miss any content at all that we bring out in this channel for
It's 1-0 Man U, by the way.
Oh, there we go. And if you'd like to give a donation to the channel, feel free to do so. And if you want to become a member, it's 99p. Hit the join button. And if you are a member of the channel, you are put into a prize draw. We do as well. Good evening, Lawrence. Good evening, Bia, and Mr. Andrews in the chat as well. Let's get into it, Mason. Right, Mason, we are going to need a reaction from Tuesday night because of how poor it really, really was. I think it's time we make some changes now for me. I think it's time Tonali needs to come in for this game now for me. I think it's a no-brainer. He has to start coming in the side now.
Yeah, I think he has to. Obviously, it hasn't been good. It wasn't good enough on Monday night, and something needs to be sorted as soon as possible. And hopefully Tonali will start on Saturday. I know we've got the Giants are playing Liverpool on Wednesday, so it'll be interesting to see what happens on Saturday. But obviously, because I've just said we've got the Giants are playing Liverpool on Wednesday, and it'll be interesting to see what side he picks on Saturday.
Absolutely.
When I said the Giants, I was being sarcastic.
With Bruno possibly out, Tonali will go in the middle, says Bia. Well, it's coming out that Willock and Bruno could be okay for Saturday. We know Bruno wasn't pictured in the training, but that normally does happen on a basis. Willock was pictured, so he might be okay for Saturday. So hopefully he'll be okay to see them around. But what I would do is I would play Tonali in currently where Bruno's playing, and I'd play Bruno a bit further forward, Mason.
Yeah. Obviously, I know Palace haven't had a good start to the season as expected. Obviously, they were losing Elise and Anderson. I think they've struggled massive, big time this season, as people would have expected that after the way they played at the end of last season would have been like in and around, say, Conference Europa League, if not what we was there. But something's not right. Something's not been right at Crystal Palace this season, in my opinion.
I mean, I'll come on to you, Nate. Where do you think it's gone wrong for Palace this season? Is it not replacing certain players? Is it down to the manager not getting the team selection right, the tactics, etc.? Because he did very well last season. As soon as Roy Hodgson left, he did a very good job at stepping in and got Palace quite high up. Where's it going? Why has it not been as good there this season, unfortunately, do you think?
For me, it's a mixture of pretty much different things because it's easy for people to say they lost Elise, we lost Anderson, therefore we lose two players and all of a sudden we're rubbish. It's not how it works. Yes, Elise and Anderson were massive players for us. Anyone with a brain can know that. But Ismail Assar was brought in to cover the loss of Elise. Maxence Lacroix is, in my opinion, an upgrade on Joachim Andersen, because as much as Andersen was great for us, he's the wrong end of 28, 29. So he's in his peak, but very quickly he'll start declining. Lacroix is a younger centre-back to match Mark Gay, to match Chris Richards, and to match Trevor Chalobah. In regards to Glasner, can't really fault him because our fans were saying he needs to be back this summer to push the club a bit higher up the table. Because let's be real, people love to point out that the end of last season was a new manager bounce and all that sort of thing. People love to throw on it. There's an element of truth to that, but a new manager bounce is supposed to be instantaneous. Whereas he kind of struggled when he first came in because a lot of what Roy Hodgson had done was still in that team. And then very much later on, I think after the Liverpool game is where you saw that Palace team go on a tear where I think we got, 10 points out of 12 in our last 6, to that effect. So me personally, I said to everyone on our socials where you had Palace fans talking about we're going in for Europa League and all this kind of foolishness. I'm looking at them thinking, with what money? With what squad depth? Because let's keep it a buck. As a Newcastle fan yourself, you'll know if you don't have the squad depth, Europe is not possible.
Absolutely, it's not.
And look, I get it. Some of our fans got excited with how we ended the season. We finished above Brighton. Token gesture because they had a massive amount of injuries at the back end of last season. And now look at them. They're back up, flying high up the table, and it kills me to say it, but it is what it is. Reality is reality. But me, I said to myself, provided we get the right players in and provided we strengthen where we haven't strengthened for years, that being left back, right back, arguably goalkeeper, definitely striker, because Nketiah for me was never the right buy, but it is what it is. He's our player now. We have to suffer that. I'm one of those few fans that points the finger at the chairman, at Steve Parish, and says, look, no one's going to take away what you've done for us, because go back to 2010, man could do no wrong. It didn't matter what he did. We just knew, listen, he saved us from where we were. Let's not question him. But we're all looking at it now and thinking, okay, you reinvested in the academy. That's great. That's wonderful. You want this £100 million renovation to the stadium. Again, wonderful. But we haven't seen a replacement left back for Patrick Van Aanholt and cover and competition for Tyreek Mitchell since Van Aanholt left, which is crazy. As a Premier League club, to only have one first team left back at the club. And to be fair, we've got Franco Uma and Teo Adaramola, 2 youth players that show a bit of potential. But as a Premier League club, you can't rely on potential. You need bona fide players for every position, because otherwise you find yourself where we are, where you're looking at yourself thinking, we shouldn't be down here, because the Brentford game, we got screwed by VAR, but every team gets screwed by VAR. So that's not just, it's just us. The West Ham game, they didn't even have to break a sweat to beat us. We literally gave up at 1-0 down. And then they just added the killing blow with the 2-0. The Chelsea game, we showed a bit of something. The Leicester game, a bit of something. The Man United game, a bit of something. Every game, it's not been like we've been hammered. But we've lost way more games than we should have done. And it's of our own making. It's not a case of this went against us, that went against us. There's evidence of things going against us. But you as a Newcastle fan, you've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, we have seen it.
Against Newcastle. Key decisions going for Newcastle. We were like, if that goes against us, I'd be peed off. So I've tried to say to people, look, we've been screwed over with that Eze goal at Brentford. That should have stood any day of the week.
Yeah, I didn't see what the problem with that was as well.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. I'm saying any day of the week that should stand. But we all know the refs in this country are a mockery. So let's not try and blur the lines because we're the wrong party. If we benefit from that, we're thinking, whoa, we got away with one there, But I think, look, it's a mix of everything, to be honest with you, because certain elements of our fan base went way too much over the summer. And they're trolling Newcastle fans, Aston Villa fans, Brighton fans, all these clubs that have been building towards where you are now. People love to rinse Newcastle. Oh, you've got, you're one of the richest clubs in the world, but you still can't get Europe, this, that, the other. I'm thinking, offer a Newcastle fan a trophy or European football. Which do you think they take first?
Exactly.
Real talk. I know. Look, everyone wants to see their club play Champions League football. You're no different in that
We
regard.
could do with that first trophy.
But you know what I'm saying, PD? If someone offered you a Carabao Cup or Champions League football,
Carabao
you know
Cup.
what I mean? Yeah, because obviously a trophy gets you Europe. But again, our fan base don't see that other clubs looked at how we finished and said, okay, fair play to Palace. They did well, but they lose one player. They're done for.
Yeah, absolutely. It totally does. Spurs are 1-0 up. You've just pointed there. Mason Bruno's out injured, apparently, but hopefully be back for the Liverpool game. It says he could be back he might be okay for Saturday. Good evening, Coffee. Good evening, Wacky. Hope you're well. Tiger says, gee, still wants Eddie out.
That's that one game as well. Honestly.
Evening, PD Barmy Army. Good evening, Chippers. Trophy gets us Europe anyway. It does. Good evening, Julie. The angle of Nate's camera makes him look like 10 foot tall. Mason sponsored by Cover, by beautiful Julie. We meet again. Not going to lie, I thought Kamada would have done better than he has so far. Forgot Palace had signed it before his Red versus Fulham.
Yeah, it's better I don't talk about Daichi Kamada for my own.
I mean, that was I mean, that was just I seen the tackle that he did. It was just absolutely a horrendous challenge. Good evening, Jason. Up you well, lads, and good evening to Alessandro as well. So, any other players we should look to replace in the lineup, Mason? I mean, should the likes of Barnes come in? Possibly.
Get every single attacking force and what's decent for us, i.e. Barnes, i.e. Isaac, and keep Joel in the right wing.
So you think you would take Gordon out the team?
Oh, no,
a lot of people were saying that he's not been playing as well. Whereas Bonds is our top goal scorer at the moment, along with Isak. Chipper says he wants Howe out, not because of Monday, but because Howe isn't changing anything. Good coaches have more than one string to their bow. I can understand that, Chippers, as well. Referee is Darren England, assistant referee Adrian Holmes and Andrew Fox. Fourth official Andy Davies, VR's Jarrett Gillett. Jesus,
hope we get well soon, Billy. I know who's behind that account.
Yeah, same. Palace been playing some decent football every 2 weeks. This could be a disaster unless we turn up, says David. I think you need Bonds, Tonali, and Stone. I agree, Wacky. J7 drops into midfield. Gordon, Bonds, Isak up front. You have to play him into form as well. Yeah, that would be a decent, probably Joel back in the midfield, possibly Willock on the bench as well. I mean, Willock wasn't that great before he got his injury. Didn't play that great, I thought, against West Ham the other night. So, yeah.
Did you just see Willock?
So, yeah, Willock didn't play that great on there. Well, not
because he was injured.
But no, before he got the knock, he wasn't on his game, I thought. So
I agree with you there. I agree with you there.
So it was Eddie's got to change something. He really, really has to. I mean, the fact is, Nate, we haven't got a good record at Selhurst Park. We haven't won there since 2020. It's been scraping draws. I mean, you beat us last season 2-0. Have you got some confidence that West Palace can go out and grab something out the game if possible?
Considering that we gave a good account of ourselves against Villa, I probably should have a bit more confidence than I do.
Well, I think getting a point down at Villa Park was probably a decent point. I think a lot of Palace fans would have taken that before the game as well.
Let's just go back. Let's just quickly go over last night. Villa's goal last night should have stood.
Oh, I've not seen that actually. I'd have to have a look.
But to answer your question, PD, I'm not saying that Newcastle will hammer us because we haven't really been hammered as of yet this season. The only game, I mean, even the game against Liverpool, a few decisions could have gone our way that maybe would have changed a few things, but overall we were beaten by the better team. Do I expect us to get a result against Newcastle? No, because we're not the same team that you played at Selhurst Park at the back end of last season. We don't have Eze. Wharton's out injured as well. Mateus França is the new Nathan Ferguson, just a permanent sick note. There's just so many players that you're saying to yourself, if we had this player, he may be a game changer. We'll never know, because he had a cameo against you guys at St. James's Park last season and absolutely did wonders for us going forward, albeit we had little to show for it because you hockeyed us 4-0. But I want to be confident, but I want to guard against getting arrogant and thinking, oh, well, Newcastle just lost to West Ham, so we've got to be playing them when they're down on their knees. I mean, we've only won one game all season. That was against Spurs. And even then, that was touch and go, because on another day, Spurs hockey us, and my gripe with the way we've played this season isn't that we've drawn and we've lost but I'm looking at it thinking we drew to a fairly average Leicester. We lost to a god-awful Everton. And I'm looking at that thinking, there's no shame in losing to a team that outplays you, but that Everton team was there for the taking. And they're not great. So the frustration with me isn't that, we're in the bottom three because we're rubbish. We are rubbish, freely admit that. But it's of our own making. The lack of forward planning we haven't seen, and all the behind the scenes drama we've had with Dougie Friedman, John Textor, and all this other stuff that's going on around the club. Keep all that quiet in house and whatever is going on, because obviously Newcastle and Palace, there were bids for Mark Gay over the summer and everything else.
Yeah, there were.
Newcastle tried to bring Dougie Friedman up to Newcastle, and that didn't go to plan, thank God. But I think really, don't get me wrong, I'm not confident playing Newcastle, be it at St. James's Park or Selhurst Park, because our record against you, I think the only time I've actually been confident playing you was, ironically, and I hate to say this name on your channel for fear of being kicked off, Alan Pardew, because that was when he actually was able to get a response out of the team when we smashed you 5-1.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's the time we had Steve McLaren at the time.
But ever since then, I've said to myself, even at their worst, Newcastle are a big club and they'd expect to beat us. So take a point against Newcastle, run away with it. But if Newcastle's confidence is that hit badly from that defeat against West Ham, it's now or never to get as much as a point off you, because we've no Eze, no Wharton. Decore isn't quite at the level that we need him to be. There's a lot of things around the football club at Palace that, if they're in the right place, it's a different vibe. But look, I'm not expecting much on the weekend. I think I've made that clear by now, because look, I don't hate Newcastle. You're one of the few clubs that if you do well, I'm like, good on them. It's not animosity between us as fans. I'm looking and thinking,
I mean, I can see why you protest against your ownership as well, because I can understand why they don't like Steve Parish as well. I mean, we tried to do deals and he was just pushing her from pillar to post with the Gahey deal. But yeah, I can understand why your fans are against the ownership of your club as well, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said at the start of the show, look, Parish was one of the original four that saved the club in 2010. So it's hard for me to separate what he did 14 years ago to now, because that's the one thing that saves him constantly on social media. That he saved us brigade. That's literally what keeps him out of the firing line. But I get it from your perspective. Newcastle came in with a bid, rejected, came in with another bid, rejected, came in with another bid, rejected. But I think a lot of your fans forgot we didn't need to sell Gay. And if we had to sell either Anderson or Gay, we're always going to sell the asset that, fairly speaking, is going to depreciate in value in the next 2 or 3 years. Now, obviously, Mark Gay doesn't want to sign a new contract. That's totally fair. We could lose him on a free. I understand that. And look, that's a bit silly by Parish to do what he's done there. But again, as I said, certain fans don't want to criticize Steve Parish, and they're afraid to say that the standards Parish keeps saying that he wants to take the club to the next level and all this sort of thing. And that's great. That's wonderful. It's great PR spin. But what is that next level, Steve? If it's 10th to 8th, cool. That's a perfect barometer to set because a club like us is not a European contending club. I know that. You know, I'm not sat here saying we should be in Europe. I'm thinking other teams have got there before us, but that's because they've been better prepared. The only exception I say is Burnley getting into Europe was a bit of a joke. I'm like, Burnley, they play god-awful football and they got Europe before us. But other than that, I hate to say it, but Brighton play fantastic football, and it kills me to say that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's other teams around there that you're thinking, yeah, they should be up and about there. But us, with the right investment and with the right kind of blueprint, the top half of the table should be probably where we should try and find ourselves. I'm not saying it should be the definitive, like we have to be there every season, because that's just not feasible at Premier League level. It's, you know, it's hard for teams that are in there to stay in the top half. But yeah, look, we're Parish. He's not quite the pantomime villain that Mike Ashley was at Newcastle, but it's getting to that stage where a lot more fans are starting to take off the 2010 romance of, oh, he saved us and, you know, he's taking us to the Premier League and all of this kind of thing. I'm saying to myself, okay, that's great that he did all that, but what's he doing now? Don't look back at what he's achieved. Look back at what he's doing now, because we're not seeing him come out and explain to us what's going on with the stadium, what's going on with the, you know, are we looking to bring more youth through to offset the lack of investment in the summer? Because let's keep it real. We sold Elise for something like 45 million, Anderson for something like 30 million. So 75 million in, and 30 million of that was spent on Enquiries. Sorry? Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, he's a player I definitely do not rate. He was very bang average for Arsenal. Arsenal wanted to move him on for a reason, and
but again, this is where you see my gripe is that I don't mind us selling players who for the right money. If Newcastle came in for Gay and offered us crazy money, take him, because real talk, we've made a substantial come up on that deal.
Yep.
Because before he joined us, no Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City fan was talking about Mark Gay. But once you see him play against your team, you're like, Jesus, that guy's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, they've taken one of our best players, no issue with that, but we've made substantial come-ups on players that nobody was talking about. So for me, it's a lose-win-win situation, if that makes sense. We lose a good player, but we make substantial profit, and it's a chance for us to restart the cycle. Because, well, the one thing Friedman's good at, as you've seen, he can identify a gem. Because, let's be real, who gets Michael Elise for £8 million?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Look how much you've sold him for. We need.
Can I just come in your man? You were getting B2-1.
Oh, Tonali gives Bruno a bit more freedom and assurance that there's someone to pass to, says Wacky. Yep. We predict ourselves to hammer teams, but we end up getting hammered, says Coffee. That's, yeah, absolutely. It's been like that. We were linked to Franco before his move to Palace. We actually were. Does Mason live in the store cupboard at Costa Coffee? Because he's always got coffee every time he comes on the show. Mason has 12 coffees a day. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well. Good evening, Malcolm. Hope you're well as well. Question for you, Nate. Who does Nate fear the most in the Newcastle side? So which players are you really concerned about in our team that could cause you a lot of fret?
Okay. Well, look, everyone likes to pick out Alexander Isak. I mean, the guy's just cold, but I don't want to give that cliche answer if it has to be your striker. Anthony Gordon is definitely one I'm thinking Everton fans must be steamed they sold him to you. But, you know, that's the good thing about what your ownership have done since they've come in is they have leveled up your recruitment. They've leveled up your playing stuff. They've leveled up your style of football with Eddie Howe. So you could throw a name at me. I'd say, yeah, I'll probably fear him, because that's the joy of what you're doing is that you may not have your Galactico Real Madrid style squad, but you've got players that, you know, on their day can hurt you. Now, granted, there are still weaknesses in the side, as you saw against West Ham. So it's not like you're invincible and, you know, nothing can condemn the castle, so to speak, pardon the pun. But am I worried about any particular Newcastle player? No, but I'm wary of a few that I could rattle off. But again, I'll stick to it with the likes of Anthony Gordon, if he plays, because he likes to turn up against us, Joe Linton, because he's a decent player, him, despite all the flack he gets. So look, there's players in that Newcastle team that I'm thinking I wouldn't mind a player like that, but it is what it is. But don't get me wrong, look, as I said, you've got threats all across your squad, so it's not a case of it's only individual players. You have to look at it. You're like, oh crap, they actually have got a few outlets. You're like, bloody hell, you mark this guy, that guy's open. Pause. No, no pause. So, it is what it is.
This is a question to you, Nate, from Wacky. He says, I think you have give your opinion on Steve Parish. He's a bellend with no class, chatting about Gee. I don't know if you saw that interview he's given on Sky Sports about the whole Morgie situation. I just found it very unprofessional how he came out and how he described that during his interview. I
mean, I'm not one of these that's going to defend him to the hilt and justify what he does or what he says or the way he goes about saying things. But what I will say is it wasn't clever, is what I would say, because if it's a case if he doesn't want to sell, tell Newcastle, with all due respect, pee off, go somewhere else, get another player. That's it. Just leave the deal dead in the water, and Newcastle don't come back with a bid and get rejected and this standoff. There's no need for that. If it's a case of he's not for sale under any circumstances, Newcastle have to respect that, walk away and say, okay, Palace have shut the door on the Mark Gay deal. We'll move on to another target. We keep it moving. But again, Parish has painted himself as the champion of the so-called other 14, because you'll remember in COVID, he was one of the ones leading the charge against the Super League and all this kind of thing. So again, he's a great PR spinner. That's what Parish is very good at, is PR. Whether or not you like what he says or you hate what he says, he's very good at spinning words to his favor, where people might think, oh, he's an arsehole, he's an idiot. But look, I personally don't like the guy anymore. I haven't done for quite a while, because the Americans he's got involved at the club, we don't know anything about. He keeps telling us about the next level, as I said earlier. Just me personally, I'd like for him that if he is looking to get someone else in, just sell the club, mate, please. We're not asking for billions and billions and everything else like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I just want to see this club push itself. Even if that means we finish 8th, 10th, 8th, 10th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever it may be. I just don't want to see this club constantly look over its shoulder and think, oh, there's 3 teams worse than us, we'll be fine. That's the dangerous territory to get into. As you will well know, obviously you guys got relegated not too long ago, and you're looking at it thinking, imagine we still had that mentality, thinking that that mentality of, oh, there's 3 teams worse than us, it's fine. And then, oh crap, there aren't 3 teams worse than us. We are one of those teams. Yeah. So it's one of them. I don't like Parish, and I don't agree with what he said in that, because what he should have done is just tell Newcastle, look, he's not for sale, keep it moving. That's literally all he had to do. And I think you would have walked away and said, you know what, Palace, fair enough, you're not selling him. We'll move on to a different target. But there's bad blood now between the clubs, because Newcastle feel like, hold on a second, there was no need for that. If you're not selling him, cool, we'll respect that. But deal with us, with us man to man.
Yeah, it was just pillar to post. Every bid will go in. He was just saying, no, we're not having it. Being brutally honest, I think you need to sell one of your 3 big players, Gordon, Bruno, and Isak for 100 million, plus again 3 to 4 players for squad strength. If we're having to do that, Wacky, then unfortunately we'll have to do it. Question to you again, Nate. This is from Malcolm, and he says, why do Palace hate Brighton?
Well, it's one of those where it doesn't make sense geographically, but look, sometimes football hatred can spill off of something crazy. So look, you can look into it yourself. It's not one of these where, London and Brighton are very close together. There's a good 44 miles or something like that between Croydon and Brighton. But, look, we have got rivals closer to us in Millwall and Charlton and all that, but we don't play them anymore. It's like you lot playing Sunderland. We don't play them every season. Yeah. So, we played Millwall in the FA Cup a few years ago with Patrick Vieira as manager, and I was sat there thinking, I forgot what a South London derby feels like, which is crazy, because I should never have that feeling. I should be looking forward to playing our local rivals. Yeah. But for me, I don't care for the Brighton rivalry that much anymore. It's like, look, they're so far ahead of us, it's just painful. I'd rather just worry about us, never mind what they're doing. because and the ironic thing is, had we not beaten Cardiff, I think in 2018-19, is one of these seasons. Had we not beaten Cardiff, we would have relegated Brighton. So you see the paradox. You're like, we won, but at what cost?
Yeah, that's it.
You know, like that. I mean, it's just.
Nate, Jason's asking to you, Nate. Would you have Sean Longstaff?
Yeah, I was hoping he would word that comment, because that's a bit mad to say that to someone. That looks a bit mad. But in regards to the player, no. Because I'm not being funny. He reminds me of Jordan much. If you know, you know.
Yeah, we've been on his back a lot as of late. We really, really have. And a lot of last season, we're really, really
I'm just saying, when I see Newcastle fans cussing one of their own, that tells me he's the Geordie Jordan Much. And I don't want anyone close to Jordan Much at my football club again. Yeah. Once was bad enough.
Fair is. Shebby off at Reese is because he's worried about getting banned with no right centre-back cover at the minute. Or Mason, or the legs now starting to go on Fabian Schär.
I think they're all a bit. Yeah, I think he's starting to lose his legs a little bit, to be honest.
There you go.
Please start him with Ismail Assar, because he's going to get corked.
Told that we could offer Palace Miggy Longstaff plus cash for Gia. First time I've heard of that one, because it looks like Miggy could be off to Saudi Arabia. It's looking heavily that Miggy is going to go on his way to Saudi Arabia. I mean, Mason, he's well fallen out of favour now at Newcastle, and it looks like his future's going to be somewhere else very, very soon now.
Which is good, in a way, because obviously he's been absolutely dog shite. And to be honest, I think he needs to go in January. Because you can see he's not getting the game time as he would like.
He's not getting it now. He's completely full now of it.
And he needs to go, because he's not going to get any more game time in the year, because for some reason he still likes Jacob Murphy, and he's even worse.
I think find a right wing is more important by Gage. You know what? I'm going to agree with you there, Julie. I think we need that right wing spotted, because it's clear we needed it for West Ham. It won't be too long before Botman is back. Hopefully it's not. Yep. Man U losing 2-1 now. Yep, they are.
We love to see that. That's good.
Yep. Not all rosy for the new manager. There's still problems at that club. Roma Senko was disallowed by VAR off offside, still 1-1 in the game.
PD, I don't think United fans, sorry to cut you, but I don't think United fans realise, change manager all you want. It ain't the manager that's the issue. We can see it.
John Sinclair, if you're watching, Nat's just said about that, your team. That's John Sinclair and all.
One from Chippers. If we offered Palace, Wilson for Gay would need to say yes. Oh, I'm not too sure on that one, Chippers. I mean, Palace, Wilson is striker, but 32 and made of glass. And do you think Palace will be put off by his injuries that he's been having as of late?
We've already got Eddie and Nketiah. So as much as Callum Wilson a few years ago, I would have said, yeah, no problem. But nah, like I get the offer. I get it, but nah. that one ain't gonna fly, but fair play, Chips. Fair play.
I don't think Schär's anyone compete for a spot. He doesn't, because we've got Kraft out and we haven't got no other right centre back. We got Gay. Schär would be on the bench. Yep. Why not press the like button? It's a good show. Cheers, Malcolm. Yes, please do as well. Ronald still how in head he is our king. Toot. With Kraft and Lascelles out, he's the only right centre back you've got. He gets his ban, which is inevitably your FUCKED. That would be, unfortunately, yep. Schär does become unavailable again, and he shouldn't be free to play two left centre backs together. Well, you'd have no choice but to, Lawrence. I think we need to start moving on from Murphy now as well. Maybe keep him on the bench as a squad player. As I mentioned, I was starting to become to that point as well. It was an ex-Alford lad that scored Bordeaux second as well. Oh, was it? They drew last night, Ronald. Oh, well, they was in the Champions League as well. Okay, Nate, what starting 11 do you think Oliver Glasner is going to put out for Saturday?
That's what I'm trying to see. What was our starting lineup for Villa? So just give me 1 second. I'll try to run through the lineup he went with. Sorry, 1 sec. because there was actually a surprise in the lineup, to be honest with you, from what I recall.
Right.
So he went with Dean Henderson in goal, a back three of Lacroix, Gay, and Chalobah. Mitchell and Munoz as the wing backs, and Will Hughes and Decore in midfield. Ismail Assar and Mateta obviously up top. And then the youngster Justin Devaney was playing left wing because no Eze, no França, so there's just like literally nobody there. And the fact that Jeffrey Schlupp is on the bench in 2024, yeah, it's bad. But needless to say, fair play to Justin Devaney. He scored his first goal for the club last weekend. But I think he'll have to go with pretty much the same squad he had at Villa, really, because he hasn't got many other options. I mean, he could, if he wanted to, maybe throw in Asher Agbanon, who's a young left winger from our academy, who played against Nottingham Forest. He came on in the Forest game where we lost 1-0. Made a good show of himself in that game, but playing a kid in I don't want to say high-pressure Premier League game, but a game that we've got Man City coming up, we've got Ipswich coming up, so a home game against Newcastle. I don't think risking the kid is key, but ironically, we've only got Devaney or Agbanon, either of which are classed as kids. So again, this is the gripe I have, is that it's all well and good that youngsters are getting minutes, but why are youngsters getting minutes when this could have been avoided with accurate squad depth placements, which is if Jeffrey Schlupp is first choice left wing in 2024, that's painful. That's painful. That's like asking Mike Williamson to play at centre back for Newcastle on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
You see where I'm going with it? It's literally the worst case scenario you can imagine. You're thinking anyone but him, please. Mm-hmm. Anyone but him. Even a Mackham, even a Brighton fan, give me anyone over Jeffrey Schlupp at left wing. So ideally, I think Glasner would have to go with the same lineup he picked at Villa, because again, he hasn't got any alternatives, and that alone is criminal, in my opinion. That should never be the case for any Premier League club, whether you're Manchester City or Ipswich Town. It doesn't matter where you are in the league. You need to have an accurate amount of depth in your team to say, okay, if we lose player A, player B steps up. The only positive is Kamada is still suspended, because I think time out of the team would do him good, because he's getting a lot of stick off the fans, and I still think he can come good. But you know, that was always going to be a red card, as you said earlier. So,
I mean, it was a shocker.
It was a shocker.
Longstaff, Murphy, Miggy Gillespie, Oddy Wilson, Toggle Lascelles got to go. Eddie seems to want to hold on to the Deadwood, especially Sean Longstaff. There was another question from that wacky. Would Nate take Matt Target? That's a player who's just sitting on $100,000 a week at our club and not getting a game.
No.
There you are.
No.
As he needs a new challenge at Newcastle. I mean, has he got a release clause in his contract?
See, again, there's talk that he does. There's talk that he doesn't, because Spurs were sniffing around. But we were of the opinion we're not going to lose Elise and Eze in the summer. That's just not going to work. So if we had to lose one, we would have rather lost Elise. But obviously that appears to have backfired horribly, because he's a hell of a player. But you know, look, again, if the right offer comes in, I wouldn't begrudge him a move to higher up the table, because on his day, he's a game-changing player. But, you know, ideally, we need to keep a hold of Eze for at least until the end of the season. And then if he chooses to leave, fair play, because I'm not one of these fans that wants to see players stay for the sake of, oh, no, don't leave. No, they want to leave. Let them go. But get the right amount of money and then invest, which Parish won't do. So, yeah. Oh, Clarkey, yeah, Almiron and 5 million. You may want to add about 85 million onto that and drop Almiron, and then we'll talk about 5 million. Get out of here! Get out of here!
Right, we'll go Mason. We'll go for our what do they think the start 11 is going to be. So in goal, Mason.
Pope.
Yep, it'll be Nick Pope. Obviously, he's our number one goalkeeper. It's an easy decision for this one. Right back, I think it'll still be Tino. There was talk that Trippier should come in for this game. I don't think Livermento's been that bad as of late. He was okay in the last game, I thought. But I think Tino's probably going to stay in for this game for me. So Tino at right back. Okay, Mason, one of the centre-backs.
Ben.
Burn is back from his 1-game suspension. I think he is going to come in because Kelly had a really poor game. He was at fault for the goals that we conceded, and I think Burn is going to come straight back into the team as well. So Nick Burn, right? It's going to be Share as well, because again we've got no other right side centre back, so it is going to be Share in keeping that right centre back spot. In it left back Mason.
Lewis Hall.
Yep. Again, another easy one decision. Right. We'll go into midfield 3. Right. I'm going to start off with, and I think he should be playing where currently Bruno is playing. So in that position, I'm going to go with Tonali. I think Tonali should be playing in that role, and I'd have Bruno further forward up the pitch. I really, really would. So Tonali to come in that number 6 role. He could do it for Italy. Why should we not look to play him there? And have Bruno further up the pitch. Okay, Mason, next one in midfield.
Joe Linton.
So we'll have Joe Linton in midfield as well, in his left centre midfield role spot. And then we'll have Bruno a bit further forward this time. I certainly would like to give that a try. Just rotate something around. Because I think Tonali could do that job very, very well, in my opinion. I really, really could. Andrew with his usual 7-0 win. So I'm just a bit behind on the comments. In fairness, the draw Villa was still good.
100%. We haven't won at Villa since Boxing Day of 2013, so I would have bitten your hand off for a draw. I'm just saying the nature of that game, it was like, take the lead, concede. Take the lead, concede. It was just frustrating. But no, a point was not a bad result at all. Don't get me wrong.
No, I don't think it was, considering where Villa are at the moment.
It's the nature of the game that peed me off. It's like, if we're gonna score late goals, can we get late winners, not concede late equalizers? But it is what it is. We know.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, absolutely right. So this is Wacky's team. You have to go Paul, Tino, Shea, Ben Hall, Tonali, J7, Bruno, Barnes, Isak, Gordon. Kelly needs to go out on loan, says Ronald. Interesting. Pope, Tino, Shea, Ben Hall, Tonali, Bruno, Jolin, Isak, Wilson, and Barnes. Ooh, she's thinking of putting Wilson. I don't think Mason. I don't think Wilson's ready for a start yet, Mason. He's just come back.
Yeah, I think he'll be on the bench for a couple of games. And then once he's like fully ready, he'll probably be starting a few games. Unless he doesn't get injured. But yeah, Wilson will be on the bench for a couple of games.
Ian, not liking the fact that Rangers are 2-0 up. Mickey Mayfield would be the dream ticket for Palace. I'd even throw in Hendrick and Longstaff for a swap with Hesse, to be fair. Tonali doesn't do that role for Italy, according to BA. He plays as a left centre midfielder. Okay. Cobb's predicting a 2-2 draw. Mason, do you want to get your prediction in the banner for when we come to reveal it to the end of the show? Happy Palace to get that result. Fulham lose to 4-0. The Wolves should have been the same that game on Monday. It wasn't a guaranteed win. Yep. When was the last time we beat Palace away? It was 2010, Coffee, during COVID.
Yeah, 2020.
Looks good to me, Wacky. Isn't Wilson due a new injury yet? It wouldn't surprise me, Clarky. You never know that. Just what I'd like to see for the next game. I'm thinking of Pope, Tito, Shea, Hall, Bruno, Tonali, Joe Linton, Gordon, Isak, Barnes. Newcastle Solidarity Premier League away victory against Crystal Palace in the past 9 attempts was 2-0 on the 27th of November 2020. It was indeed. Palace will be tough to beat. They usually are. Yeah, Palace, it's a tough place to go to, Selhurst Park. It really, really is, to be fair. Right then, back to our attacking 3. Mason, who's going in there?
Barnes on the left.
Okay, we'll have Harvey Barnes out on the left. I think it's about time he possibly comes in for this game as well. Why not? On the right, I think it'll be Anthony Gordon. I don't think Anthony Gordon's going to get dropped. I really, really can't see it happening. And up front through the middle, Mason.
Isak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So that is the lineup. We think what it could be. We think Eddie may make some changes. So again, we'll run through it. So we think it'll be goal Nick Pope, the back four, Tino Livramento, Fabian, share Dan Burn and Lewis Hall with the midfield three of Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joe Linton, and the attacking three of Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, and Alexander Isak. Let us know in the live chat if we think, who's got the TV on?
Sorry.
Let us know if you think that Eddie's going to go with that lineup. There's some comments that they think he's going to possibly go with that as well. Do you know what? He certainly has, but I just can't see Eddie Howe dropping him, unfortunately. Ron's going for a 5-0 win. If we get beat, then get ready for the Howe Brigade to come out in full force. There'll be a lot more people getting on Eddie Howe's back if that is the case. Can't see Mason go for 2-2 here.
We've got one in the chat.
Tight game of 3-2 we win, I reckon. Stim on the bench will do more than any arm might help him. In fact, could do.
We ain't scoring 3. I know that for a fact.
If he loses,
I'd love it. I'd love it, but it ain't happening.
If he loses this, sack the guy. I know you're still on the Eddie Howe out situation. I mean, what do you make of all of this, Nate? About, do you think we should look to part ways with Eddie Howe, or do you think he is the right man for us to take us forward?
It kind of depends on what you as Newcastle fans expect of your club. Because, look, I have memories of watching Nobby Solano play for you lot in the Champions League way back in the day. So I remember Newcastle under Sir Bobby Robson, rest in peace, being up there with the, with the big boys and what have you. So I'd understand if Newcastle fans are expecting the Newcastle manager to keep lifting that club further back into the top bracket of the league. But for what he's done, considering how hated Steve Bruce was, because let's be clear, nobody likes Steve Bruce.
No,
we both had him at our clubs, and truthfully,
yeah,
I cannot stand the man. Right? Can't stand him. Never liked him as our manager. Never liked him at any other club when he was manager. Despise him. Can't stand him. But with that being said, I think, me personally, if Eddie Howe cannot keep you where you expect to be, which is in the top 8 of the table, you may have to look at sacking him. But if you as a Newcastle fan are just happy that the club is on the right trajectory where you've got new owners, you've got a manager that plays an attacking brand of football, which you as fans have been crying out for years, because let's be clear, nobody wants to see negative bus parking football where you pay your money to go to the stadium, because look, whether you're playing a garden shed like we do or a cathedral like you do at St. James's Park, you want to be entertained for the 90 minutes that you're there in the freezing cold in January, in December, in November. You don't want to look there and go, why did I pay money to come watch this? This is painful. I could have gone to the pub and spent the exact same amount of money on a few beers. Even if you lose, but you're entertained as your team plays well, you're like, we lost, but the lads gave it a good shift. We keep it moving. So me personally, I'd understand if there's Newcastle fans wanting Eddie Howe out. Steve Bruce, sorry. Completely lost track of myself there. I understand why some fans want Eddie Howe out. I do see it. But at the same time, it's that old adage of be careful what you wish for. Because there's no guarantee the guy coming in after Eddie Howe can match what Eddie Howe's accomplished. Granted, he's got no trophies to show for what he's done, but let's be clear. Newcastle don't get to a League Cup final under Steve Bruce. Wrong?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Granted, you didn't win the final. Not to rub it in, because
we were close to winning, but we've got there.
But you see my point, PD. The Newcastle fans that want Eddie Howe out, if that's how you feel, that's your right as a fan. You have that right to feel that way. But be careful what you wish for, because if you bring in a Gareth Southgate, for example, No, but you see what I mean. It's all well and good getting rid of a progressive attacking manager. But if the club decide, okay, well, the fans wanted attacking football, but now they don't want attacking football, so now we have to go to negative football, and then you want rid of that guy. And it's wash, repeat. It's Man United all over again. They want attacking football, they want defensive football. They want attacking football, they want defensive football. Every club's guilty of it, because everybody wants to play to the standards of Liverpool and Man City. Granted, City right now are absolutely in the mud, but you see where I'm going with it. You either want to be playing attacking football and winning every week, and you don't have to worry about your team being crap, or you want to say to yourself, right, we don't have the players to play tiki-taka football. Let's just hope to God we can squeeze out a 1-0 win against all football god logic. So if I'm a Newcastle fan, I'd say keep him in if it's working and the majority of the fans are behind your your team and your manager. But if change is necessary, make sure it's the right change. Don't change for the sake of change, because that's where the problems start. Because look, I didn't want to see Roy Hodgson leave, even though I wasn't happy with the football. I said Roy Hodgson is not by any means the answer, but he's not the problem. The problem is at boardroom level for us. I've said that for how many seasons now, I don't know. And I keep getting cooked on Twitter for it. But again, people are now starting to message me and say, oh, yeah, you were right. It's like, funny that. I was no defender of Roy Hodgson, PD, for the record. I wasn't defending him. But I wasn't comfortable seeing a man in his 70s getting lambasted by people who don't even go to games. I don't even live in the UK, but I was saying, if I was going to games, I'd say, yeah, the boys were crap. But it ain't Roy's fault. Those players are on a good amount of pocket every week. Yeah. Why are they putting in shifts like that and they still get paid? If that's me at my job, I ain't getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, whatever car you drive, it don't matter to people like you and me. I don't care what car you drive. Play for that shirt. And if you want a big money move, earn the big money move. Make that club look at you and go, do you know what? We need him. Palace, £70 million. Thank you very much. Take him.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we ask as fans, isn't it, PD? That's all any Newcastle.
That's it. It'll be a 1-1 draw, says Beer. Either way, not away. Going 2-2, says Ian. Man, you are 2-2 level. How deserves the full season, so let's get behind him, says Clarkey. So
100%.
Yeah. In my opinion, we win, and Eddie's the best thing since sliced bread. The players are brilliant, but lose and he needs to go, and the players are no better than 3 years ago, according to many. Good point there, Lawrence. Heard the story about Bruce's departure from Palace, says Lawrence. Oh, well. Gordon doesn't seem to be using his full pace, not going past defenders like he used to in one situation. He keeps coming back and we lose the counter-attack. I have seen that quite a lot of times this season. Mason, your current stance on Eddie, David's asking.
I'm on the it's mad because we've lost one game. I'm going to see how it goes first.
It would be typical us if we were to win tomorrow and beat Liverpool. See Eddie going if we don't have Europe. Not a case of being him a bad manager, but other managers often go into stale jobs. Even Beers Eddie in, Ronald's Eddie in. Apparently Rangers are 3-0 up. If we brought in Southgate, I'd love to watch Lawn Bowls, says Beer. Definitely not a fan. Change of managers also affects the dressing room. It can do as well. Best of luck to Palace this season. Lots of potential in the squad and good to watch rather than defensive and boring, says Clarkey. If you don't get Europe this year, I think Bruno Tonali, Isak and Gold will want out. They want their top football, in my opinion. That could well happen. I forgot Bruce was at Palace. We got a lot of in common. Bruce Blackpool will see the light in the end.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they hired him. I was like, Blackpool, what have you done? What have you done? Why would you give this man a job? Yeah. It was mutually agreed by every club. We don't hire Steve Bruce. We can't have that football terrorist in the English football system. Send him to Burkina Faso or one of these countries. Send him far away from England. Oh, man, I want it to work for Blackpool, but it's like if Steve Bruce wins, football loses. So
exactly.
Like, what?
Yeah, that's it. Relsa's peso's the problem here. We know that's one of the main problems. Sure, the owners would have a short list of managers in case they decide to let it go. Yeah, absolutely, Lawrence. Isak took scoring 20 seconds by Euro pint. Roy Hodgson is a great man, speaks multiple languages, and a nice man, says Wacky. If Palace score first, I worry breaking them down, says Chippers. 1-1. Got to do away with the 4-3-3 inverted wingers, in my opinion, says Wacky. And he will be sacked after Liverpool. Bet you another pint, says Andrew. Football terror. Don't think Mitchell is our fan. We don't know. Steve Bruce was linked to the Jamaica job with me. Steve McLaren got and said, yes, I remember that. I
don't know what's worse about that. The fact that Jamaica hired Steve McLaren. I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Because both of them are terrible managers. Bruce was linked with the East job in the summer, says Dave. Anyway, we're going to get the score predictions now. So I'll start with you, Nate. What's your score prediction for Saturday?
This is where I really hope I'm wrong, because as much as I can see us getting a beat down because Newcastle need to bounce back from that defeat to West Ham, a part of me is also saying we didn't disgrace ourselves against Villa. So there's every chance our confidence could be taking an upturn. I'm going to play it safe and say 1-1, but it could go either way. I'm saying 1-1, but it could go 2-1 Newcastle, 2-1 Palace. Either way, it ain't one of them where you're like, oh yeah, we'll smash you or you'll smash us. Pause. It's like you're kind of on the floor. We kind of don't know where we are. So I don't think either team's going to go, pardon my French, balls to the wall. They're both going to say, let's just not get murdered here. If we have to take a cheeky 1-1 and just keep it moving, then it is what it is. But I'm saying 1-1 for our sake.
Speaking of McLaren, today's the 9th anniversary of him over seeing a 5-1 loss to Palace when they had Pardew through, Lascelles on a 3-1 to tighten things up, and we conceded shortly afterwards. Yeah, I remember that game. It should have been. That's when McLaren should have gone for me. How's the Jamaican bacon, did you say? Gale get man of the match. Says Chippers, the way you be PSF yarn, start Tonali every game. Sell him if Isak wants away, sell him. There's over 200 million to spend there, says Wacky. Yeah, absolutely. You will have a superb match indeed. How's the beer can, did you say? Probably going to go for a draw thinking Son Barnes as goal scorers. I set right now for a draw, calm the ship. Is Marky available to play against as well? Yeah, he's still a Palace player, unfortunately, Cloggy. Right then, we'll get ours in. Right, we'll start with yours, Mason, and it's another 2-2 draw you've gone for. And your goal scorers?
Isak Barnes for Palace, Saw and Gee.
You're going for Mark Gay to score.
Because I think you'll play out of his skill on Saturday and watch him score.
Okay, interesting.
Part of me pegs him to score in front of the away end purely for the bants, but I'm not wishing that. But purely for the trolling, I'd love to see him score in front of the away end. That'd be pretty funny.
Interesting. Right, this is mine. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I think it's going to be a draw down there. We've had a lot of draws there. Down at Crystal Palace as of late. Well, we did lose last season 2-0. We were very poor in that game. We were really, really poor. For us, I'm going to say it'll be Isak, and for Palace, I think it'll be Mateta to get the goal for them because I think Mateta is a very good player. I think he's been a really cracking player for Crystal Palace. And so I'm going to say Mateta will get the goal for Palace. Yes, and that's a general prediction once again. Game masterclass incoming. Got horrible feeling. J7 share both get yellows v Palace and both miss Liverpool match. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Wacky. We'll wait and see. No, now lucky we'll have the game of his life and fans will cry over not getting him like he's prime Beckenbauer. Gay will score brace now. Just watch, says Coffee.
Please. Purely for the trolling, it would be so funny.
Well, let's see what happens on Saturday. So,
hey, PD, I'm shameless. It is what it is. I'm not advocating.
No, don't worry about it.
It is what it is. Look,
I gotta have a bit of banter.
This is the game we're in.
Absolutely. If two turn up with the right attitude and energy, 3-1-2 win Gordon Barnes, Isak, Nate is right. The fact we got beat by West Ham when their fans didn't expect it. Palace could shit on us. I hope for a draw, says Yuppa. I hope you're keeping well, Yuppa, as well. So we are going to start to come to the end of the show now. It's been a really, really good show tonight. Of course, Mason being the co-host for the channel. And thank you so much, Nate, for joining us on the preview tonight. Of course, Nate, you have been part of the Eagle Eye Football channel. You do make occasions on there. I haven't dropped their link in the description, but I will put it in after the show. It's Eagle Eye Football. There's a lot of guys on that channel as well that do some really, really good stuff. So feel free to drop them a subscription if you would like to do so.
We appreciate that, PD. We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. And thank you so much to those who's popped up in the chat with your interesting comments. Really, really. Thank you so much. And the mods on the channel, thank you so much for what you do as well. Tomorrow night, we are back for you know what. We are back after we were off last week as I was away for a couple of days in the capital city of Scotland. But we are back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for the Crazy Petey's Football Live Show. 8 o'clock. Get yourselves on. The link will be pinned in the comments. Get yourselves on and we'll have a good laugh and some good football chat and see some good old food picks when we have an hour of the show, as we always do. So 8 o'clock, and there'll be some rants as well by a certain person. You know who that is going to be. They are Chipper says as well. See you at 8. We'll see you then tomorrow. Chippers Nate is awesome. Good show, guys. Cheers, David. Good job, Nate. As well. Cheers, Nate, Peter Mason. Cheers, Malcolm. Good night. It's good insight, Nate. Food picks, woohoo. Great show as always, Peter Mason and Nate. Pleasure having you here.
Big up to everybody in the chat, 100%.
Oh, from a waving thing in the Volvo. Oh, God, I'll be in the pub tomorrow night, says Clucky. Oh, boy, have a good time if you've got things on. That's fine. Chipper succeed. 43 quid Arsenal for a hard burnt hot dog. Well, that'll be coming up tomorrow.
PD, I wouldn't even call that a hot dog. That's just robbery. Outright robbery. That's all that is.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Even London prices, that's outright robbery. You'd be like, wait, what? £43?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, considering the charge over 20 quid for burger and a small portion of fries.
This is London prices for you, but that's North London, to clarify. North London prices don't make sense. South London prices are still a bit steep, but not as steep.
Oh, well,
so
there you go.
Any of the Newcastle fans making their way to Selhurst Park, it won't be cheap, but it'll be cheaper than Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea.
I have actually been to Selhurst Park. I was there for the 1-1 draw, and where we just ever went over. Takeover happened when it was 1-1. We were quite lucky in that game, to be fair, like getting that draw because Palace were well on top in that game, and so it was a very long journey down. Down.
Oh, snap! Isn't Darren England the referee? Oh, this is going to be one of the worst games of the season. I hate this referee with a vengeance.
And I'm seeing Newcastle on VAR.
So I'm like, so wait a minute. We hate Darren England, and Newcastle fans hate Darren England. So wait a minute. Nobody wins here except Darren England because he's just going to be the pantomime villain for both sets of fans.
Could well be. Target's weekly wages robbery. Even Wacky says, "Tell me about it." Mate, even Wacky lives in North London. He's a West Ham fan, but Wacky lives in North London as well. But there you are. We hate a lot of referees. We certainly do. Coffee. I can see red cards in the first half, says David. Interesting.
Yeah, we ain't trying to hear no red card talk over here. No, we ain't talking no red cards.
Hopefully that's not going to happen. So remember, 8 o'clock, we'll be back with the Crazy Pitties Football live show. We are back tomorrow night for some crazy stuff tomorrow. And Saturday as well will be the live fan reaction show around about 5:15. This is your chance to come and have your say on the game. After Palace, after full time, will we be smiling or will it be egg on our faces like it was against West Ham? We shall wait and see. And Sunday, of course, will be our match review and player rating show. So remember, guys, if you have enjoyed tonight's show, please do remember to give us the thumbs up. It's really important that we get the likes so people know where to find us in the YouTube search results. Hit the likes if you haven't already done so. And, of course, if you're brand new at the channel, if you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy what goes on the channel week in, week out, hit that subscribe button. Free to do so. Just help me the channel grow. We're getting close to 2,300. Please do smash the subscribe button and help us get there as soon as we can. Your support is much appreciated as always. And do hit the bell notification. It does let you know whenever a live show is taking place or a pre-recorded video has been uploaded as well. So make sure you do hit that bell to make sure you do not miss any content at all we bring out on this channel for you week in, week out. If you want to give a donation to the channel, feel free. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. Hit the join button. If you are a member, you are put into a prize to what we do on the channel as well. We'll just read through these last comments. Take care, everyone. You as well, Ian. Take care, Ian. Bye, PD Mason. 8 odd tears coffee. Go and get your 13 coffee, Mason, as well. So there you are. Well, then, guys, we will see us all later. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And until tomorrow night, me and Mason will catch you all back then for the crazy show. Till then, everyone, see you later. Take care, all. How are the lads? How are the lasses? We'll see you all later, everyone. Good night.
Yeah.